have your mat set up. You need to have a ball or something that you can roll your feet around on. And then if anybody needs some kind of support underneath head or underneath knees, then you just want to have a little bit of a pillow. You've got one for your neck, but I think everybody else is fine, hey? All right. So we're going to do a little bit of transferring of body weight focus today. So it's going to be a lot of the Pilates work that you know, but we're just going to actually get you to have the experience of shifting body weights and how that actually affects the muscles that are working and how it connects into the different joints. All right. So you can stand at the back end of your mat, put the ball down, and we're going to start off with our favorite, a little bit of a foot massage. So just, doesn't matter which foot you do first, just make sure you get over the entire surface of your foot, and then just experiment for yourself as well. Like, how does it feel if you make your foot be floppy? How does it feel if you stiffen up your foot? Because, as you guys know from the last few weeks, it's going to go to get into those different layers of muscle and connective tissue there. And then try to get up to the ball of the foot and even onto the toes. And then when you're ready, switch over to the other side. So in lockdown, when a lot of people didn't have all these props with them, everybody would start getting tin food, right? And that works just as well. You know, everybody was using it for like hand weights and some resistance. But you can also roll out on it as well. So it doesn't have to be this exactly. And then just keep going, but just make a mental note for yourself if it feels different on the one side than on the other. Just to become aware of what's happening with the right and left sides of your body. And then you can release it, and I just want you to roll the ball just off to the side of your mat. So standing at the back of your mat, separating your feet slightly, take a moment to just stack yourself. So when we're in a standing upright position like this, our feet are our foundation. So whatever your feet are doing now is going to have an upward ripple effect through all the other joints, all the way up to the neck and into the head as well. So take a moment to stack all your joints, and we're going to start with a roll down here. So on your breath, just look down towards your feet, rolling forward. Maybe stop for a moment with your hands in front of your knees. Feel the rounding of your back. Notice the scapula protracting. And then start to come all the way down towards the ground. So maybe your hands touch the floor, maybe they don't. It doesn't really matter. Just notice where you're feeling it now. Relax the back of your neck as much as you can, and then start to unravel your spine, coming all the way up. So using abdominals, using bum cheeks a little bit, and coming all the way up to stand tall. Now stay upright and start shifting your body weight forwards and backwards. So try not to lift up the toes and lift up the heels. Keep your feet firmly grounded. But as you rock your body weight forwards and backwards, notice the different muscle groups that kick in. Yeah, so you can feel probably the front of your body kicking in when you rock backwards. And you can notice when you come forward that the back line of your body kicks in a little bit more, yeah? So just find that awareness. And then come and stand in the center of your feet and pause here. Now shift your body weight from side to side. So you're transferring body weight from one leg to the other. And again, start to notice how it fires up those side, those lateral muscles. And again, your feet are your foundation. So when you shift over to one foot, notice what happens all the way up through the foot, the ankle, the knee, up into the hips and up into the pelvis. And then come back to standing in the center and hold it here. Now let's do another roll down. We're going to look down, rolling forward, and again, just stop when your hands are hanging in front of your knees. Stay here, and now continue rolling forward. And again, I want you to pause at that bottom movement. Now, you're going to hold onto your ankles, your shins, or your knees, wherever you happen to be. And keep your knees a little bit bent. Start to rock a little bit forwards and a little bit backwards here. So you are in a curved spine position. And notice the sensations. When you come forward on your toes, can you feel that the abdominals have to work? And when you rock backwards on your heels, basically your abs have a chance to switch off, right? So it's one of the common cheats, basically. People will sit back on their heels and they don't have to work their abs. So center yourself on your feet so you have an awareness of the abdominals, and then let your arms hang heavy. And now roll back up again using your abs. Feel the connections of your feet into the ground and coming all the way up to stand up nice and tall. Is everybody feeling this a little bit here? Fantastic. Place your hands onto the shelf of your hip. And now you're going to tap your right foot just out to the side. Maybe it goes off your mat, maybe it doesn't, and then bring it in. You're keeping your center line connected, and you're taking your foot out to the side and back in again. So if I turn to face you guys, seeing the camera, you can see that I'm staying centered here and I'm moving my leg in and out. Yeah? So this is a warm-up for Roland's nightmares finally coming true. We're going to do high kicks next, Roland.
The door's here.
Oh no, we'll be going through the garden, it's fine. Down the neighborhood. And now, I want you to just center yourself, and now you're going to take your body weight with you. So we shift, and we come back in. And we shift. So you take your whole center of mass with you. So, I mean, it's also interesting because we have a personal experience of what's happening with our own bodies. Women tend to have a lower center of mass. Men tend to have a higher center of mass. So just notice as you do the shift of body weights, where is it always being initiated for you? And your center of mass is going to be all over the place. So just observe, and you can also keep it really tiny as well. So it's that little shift. And we're going to do just one more time. Come back to the center, and then straighten your knees. Just double check that you're more or less in line, and we're going to do another roll down. So take a breath in, look down towards your toes, and then start rolling forward. Stop with your hands just in front of your knees. And then allow yourself to fold all the way over. Stay here for a moment. And now bend your knees and walk yourself down onto all fours. So just get your wrists in a comfortable position. Relax your feet out behind you. Roll your shoulders away from your ears. Double check that your abs are supporting you. And now we're going to shift forwards and backwards here. And it doesn't have to be a big movement, because when you come forward over your wrists, oftentimes it's tightness around the wrist that's actually going to restrict the movement. So please don't force it. Just notice when you shift your body weight forward that you are weight bearing on your hands and wrists. And when you shift your hips backwards, you are unloading your wrists and your hands. And we're just going to take two more. And we're going to take one more. Come back to the center and hold it. Let's go into a cat stretch. Start rounding your spine up towards the sky. Stay here for a moment. Feel the stretch between your shoulder blades. And now lengthen your spine. Lift your tailbone, lift your chest, and lift your gaze. So you're actually extending your spine now. And again, round your spine all the way up. Push away from your hands. And then start lengthening your spine and moving towards extension. Good. Just keep going at your own rhythm. And I want you to pay attention to the movement in between the two end positions. So don't worry about the cat stretch at the end. Don't worry about the extension at the other end. What's happening in between? Notice how changing the shape of your spine loads your muscles differently, that there's a very strong connection into the abdominals when you round your spine. And notice that the focus moves to a stretch of the back muscles. And then when you extend your spine, there's that shortening, there's a contraction of the back muscles. Taking one more. And then lengthen your spine and return to neutral. Now walk your hands forward. And I want you to stay here. Now, do you notice with your hands out in front of you that it's changed the connections again? So now what we're doing is we're connecting into these muscles here called the latissimus dorsi, the lats. Now, when we shift our body weight forward, shoulders over wrists, notice how it moves into the lower abs. And now push back again, and there are the lats. Now keep going at your own pace. And we're more or less keeping the spine neutral. So as you come forward, lower abs are connecting. Good. And as you push back, the lats are connecting. Taking just a few more. And again, make sure that your wrists are in a comfortable position. And now shift your body weight back, hold it there, and then walk your hands back underneath you. Now take your right leg, stretch your right leg back, hold it there, lift your leg up, and hold it there. Flex your foot. So the flexing of your foot is going to help you engage the bum cheeks a little bit more. Make sure that you're lifting up through the crown of your head. And now start to move your hips a little bit backwards. And then come forward until you've got your shoulders above your wrists again. And again, shift your body weight back. And come forward. Good. Keep going at your own rhythm. Notice what's happening as you transfer your body weight. Can you feel that there's a little bit more connection into the leg that is on the floor, the leg that's supporting you? Can you feel that? So that is the quadriceps muscle on your left leg. It's working eccentrically to help support you. Let's just take two more. Beautiful. Let's take one more. Come forward, hold it, point the back foot, and bring the knee in. Center yourself. Aren't you lucky we have another leg? Here we go. Stretch your left leg back. Lift your leg up, flex your foot. Pause for a moment. And now, start shifting backwards and forwards. So what is quite nice about this movement of taking your weight back is that you're actually giving your wrists and hands that just momentary relief, right? You aren't weight bearing the entire time. Good. Keep breathing. See if you can keep those elbows nice and straight. That's it. And again, notice what's happening on your body on this side. Can you feel that same work coming into the right quadricep? Last two. Last one. Come forward, hold it, point your toe, and bringing the knee in. Now, balance on your right hand and reach the left arm out to the side. Hold it there. You guys know this one. This is the three-legged table. Do you notice how when you take one arm out to the side, so you are asymmetrical, can you feel immediately how your obliques switch on? So again, we have shifted body weight by moving that arm out to the side. Now come into thread the needle. So you're going to rotate towards the mirror. Just see if you can let your head rest comfortably to the floor. And you get to stay there and breathe. Does anybody need a little pillow underneath the head? Everyone feels okay? So now, exactly like this. If you want to intensify your stretch, maybe just walk the right hand a little overhead. So you're actually going to get a little bit more of a stretch down that side of your body. And again, those are the lats that are going to be giving you a little bit of a stretch there. And now on your next breath, bring that right hand back in, come all the way up and reach the left arm out towards the side. Hold it there, find balance, notice that transition of body weight, and then place your left hand down. Center yourself, reach the right arm out to the side, and we stay here. Three-legged table. Find the connections into your midsection as soon as you are working asymmetrically. Now, reach the right arm through, coming into thread the needle, placing head, reaching that arm long, and then when you feel good, you can stretch that left arm overhead, and just make sure that you can breathe. So generally, a good rule is that if you feel you're having to hold your breath, that you might be pushing just a little bit too hard. So double check that you can do gentle inhale, gentle exhale. And now bring that left hand back in, press up and reach the right arm to the side. Hold it there. Finding balance. Beautiful. And then bringing that arm all the way in. Just open your knees, big toes together. Let yourself just sit back into a most comfortable position. And just take the opportunity while you're here to wiggle out your wrists and your fingers, because I'm sure at a certain point those are also taking a little bit of strain when we're in this 4-point position. And taking one more breath in and out. And then coming all the way up and coming onto all fours. So take your right leg, stretch it long, and now stay there. Don't lift up that leg yet. Walk your left fingertips forward and hold it here. So just double check that you have balance. And now pick up the arm and the leg and you hold. So we're going into a little bit of cross patterning work here. Opposite arm to opposite leg. Notice as we work in this straight line, the connection into your core. And then bring your arm and your leg all the way back in. Now try the other side. Take your left leg back, but don't lift it up yet. Walk your right fingertips forward, find balance, and then lifting arm and leg, and you hold it there. Notice all those connections around the joints. So oftentimes we think about the hand that's reaching forward. What's happening to the left shoulder? That's actually the shoulder that's supporting you right now. Fantastic. And on your next breath, bringing arm and leg all the way back in. Now, remember we're doing shifting of body weight today? Take your hands a little bit wider than you normally would. Take your knees a little bit wider than you normally would. Now, hold it there. Slide your right leg back. It's nice and wide. Yeah? Walk your left fingertips forward. And now you know what's coming, right? Lift your arm and leg and hold. How does it feel different? Can you notice that it is intensifying the work? Yeah, you're having to work the obliques much harder in particular because you've moved your limbs away from the midline of your body. You have shifted your body weight. And on your next breath, bring the arm and the knee back in, and they're still nice and wide, yeah? Now, let's try the other side. Left leg goes back, it's still wide. Walk the right fingertips forward, and then when you're ready, lifting arm and leg, and you hold it there. Beautiful. So now again, notice, is one side easier for you than the other? Because oftentimes we'll have a dominant side where you just think, yeah, that's easy, and then the other side is a lot of work. Taking one more breath in and out, and then bring the hand in, bring the knee in, and again, big toes together, sit back, take all the pressure off your wrist for a moment, giving everything just a little bit of a shake. And walk your hands towards your knees and then bring your body upright. So you're going to be in an upright kneeling position. Bring your knees just in line with your pelvis. And if you take a look at your feet behind you, they should pretty much be in straight lines as well. So you're going to put one hand just above your pubic bone at the front. Your other hand is going to go into your lower back. And all we're going to do is a little bit of a tilt of the pelvis, so it's a tuck. And then allow your pelvis to go the other way. So you almost let your bum stick out the back. You feel that hollow in your lower back. Now keep going. Posterior pelvic tilt. Anterior pelvic tilt. So again, as you do this movement, and it does not have to be big, see if you can keep your rib cage upright and see if you can keep your rib cage stable. Because the temptation is when you tuck, we want to round, yeah? So see if you can keep everything lifted up above and just allow your pelvis to move. Do you notice how the different muscles are kicking in? When you tuck your pelvis, gluteals and lower abs, yeah? And then when you release your pelvis, the lower back switches on. Now let's find a little place in the middle that we can hold it right there. Just make your arms relax down. Now you're going to take your right arm, reach up, and bring it down again. So keep your spine upright, left arm reaches up, and bring it down. So you are moving your arm independently of your spine. Yeah? So the arm is not a heavy limb. This should actually feel quite easy if I'm not mistaken, right? We have enough core control that we can do this without having to compensate. So just taking one more time on the left and bring it down. And now reach your right arm up. Now how about if we add a side bend? Can you feel how it places tension along the side? And then we have to really work to come up and bring the arm down. So your arm coming up doesn't really affect us, but the lateral bend of the spine starts to load our center. So this is all again about shifting body weight. Because your pelvis is stable, hopefully your knees haven't moved, right? Okay? Let's do one more time. Lift, reach, come back, and release. Now, bring your hands and salute. Just drop your shoulders. If you need to bring your elbows a little bit forward, that's absolutely fine. Start leaning towards the right, and then come back to the center. Lean towards the left. Do you notice that this is more challenging, or is it in my mind? It's a little bit more challenging because what we're doing now is taking both limbs, we're holding the elbows away from the center line, so it's going to place more challenge on our core. Taking just a few more, and use your breath to help you find your connections. Good. Last one over to the left. Come back up. So we've done equal amounts. And now reach both arms up, breathing in. And then exhale, round your spine over and walk yourself down onto all fours again and come to a neutral position of your spine. Now we're going to do 4 push-ups. Nothing crazy, okay? Hold your spine long, get your abs connecting. Start bending your elbows. And then come back up. Good. And all I want you to focus on is that your abdominals are supporting you from underneath. And as much as you can, keep your feet connected to the ground. It's one of the best cheats is to lift your feet up. And everybody loves to do it, yeah? Nice and wide across your back. And press. Let's do one more time. And press up, hold it. Now stay here, round your spine like a cat. Move your hips back a little bit. Hold it here. Push up onto the tips of your fingers so that you are releasing your wrists. No weight on the wrists. And again, this is a cat stretch position. But how different does it feel now that we have shifted body weight back? Place your hands down. Come forward and lengthen your spine. So now we're going to do 4 push-ups, but we're going to let our hips move back a little bit as we do that. So as you bend your elbows, just let your body weight go back and press up. Isn't that nice and easy? Good. And let your hips go back and come up. I'm just turning sideways so you guys in the camera can see what I'm doing as well. So you're letting your hips go back and press up. One more time, shifting back and press up. Hold it, round your spine like a cat. Move your hips back. Notice how that loads the stretch on the lower back. Push up onto the tips of your fingers. Notice how that unloads the pressure on the wrists. Taking just one more breath in and out. And place your hands flat. Come a little bit forward and lengthen your spine. Is everyone okay? Yes? Now when you do your 4 push-ups, you're going to come forward. Okay, you knew that it couldn't be that easy, right? So as you bend your elbows, we come forward and up. Is that easier or harder? Oh, good. I'm just checking. And we go forward and press up. And 2 more. And that simple act of bringing body mass forward changes the whole thing. Press up, hold it, round your spine, sit your hips back, push up onto the tips of your fingers. Stay there just for a moment. Let your hands come flat. Come forward onto all 4s. And now we've got one last set. One last set, I promise this is it. Take your right leg, stretch it back, lift your leg up, flex your foot, and now do your push-ups here. Bending the elbows and press up. So it's easier because you have this long, heavy lever behind you that's helping you. Yeah, but it's loading one side more. So you're going to just be working harder on the one side. Press up, hold it, point your toe, and bring that knee in. Last time, I promise. Left leg back. Lift your leg up, flexing the foot, and here we go. Bending and extending. Good. Stay with the breath. Abdominals connecting. And press. Your triceps will thank me tomorrow. And press, hold it, point your toes, bring that knee in, and once again, sit back. Take all the pressure off your wrists and hands, and stay here for a moment and just breathe. There's nothing quite like push-ups to actually get the heart rate up, okay? Stay for just a few more moments. And then on your next breath, just walk your hands towards your knees and then move your hips. I'm going to do mirror image. Move your hips over to the right. Bring your feet out a little bit. Make sure that you can sit somewhat comfortably. That's it. And now hold on to your ankle or your shin that's on that side as best you can. And then just do a long stretch up and over. Release and come back. And now swing your feet up in front of you and tuck yourself into a tight ball shape. So see if you can balance with your feet off the ground. Chin tucked in. So you've got your thighs close to your chest. You've got your heels close to your pelvis. You've got your spine curved so that your head is above your center of gravity. And then swing your feet to the other side. So whichever side you did the first time, do the opposite side now. Get yourself as comfortable as possible. Hold on to the leg. Reach up and over. Long stretch. And then release them down. Now, swing your feet out in front of you again. Hold on behind your thighs. And now, see if you lift your feet up a little bit. How does it change your connection? So, when you lift your feet up, you're moving your lever away from the midline of your body. So, stay balanced. And if you bring your feet in, can you feel how it changes it? Yeah? Do that again. Lift your feet up and away so you are transferring the load into the abdominals. Let's do one more time. And lifting, feeling that extra bit of load into the hip flexors and into the abs. Releasing all the way down, and you can put your feet flat, nicely done. Good. Stretch your legs out. Just reach your hands behind you as if you're sitting on the beach. And I just want you to pick up your right leg and just cross your ankle near the knee. Lean back a little bit and then see if you can put your foot flat. And if you're already getting stretch in the bum, then you stay there. If you're pretty flexible, you might be able to bring your foot a little closer in and maybe push up a little bit to straighten the arms. So don't break anything. Is anybody not feeling a stretch in that right gluteal? Everybody got a little something? So stay there just for a moment. Good. And then slide that leg out and reach it away. So let's try the other side. Picking up left leg, cross it above the knee. And then pull that foot up just until you've got your foot flat, and that might be your stretch, and you can stay there. Or you can bring it in a little closer and then press up a little higher. Keep breathing. That's it, just a few more seconds. And then release and stretch that leg all the way up. Give it a little bit of shake. Good. I'm just turning so that I'm also lengthways on my mat. And now bend your knees. And I just want you to come and sit a little bit closer to the front of your mat so that you've got a runway strip behind you. Start with your feet about hip distance apart. Arms reaching out. Take an inhale to lift up nice and tall. And then on your breath, just roll partway back so that you feel the abdominal muscles connect. Stay for a moment, breathing in. And then exhale, forward you come. And you lift up nice and tall. And again, the pure act of shifting your body weight backwards is going to load the abdominals, yeah? Everybody can feel that? And then you're going to come forward and lift up tall. Now stay here. Walk your feet a little bit wider. Sit up nice and tall. And on your breath out, curl back. Feel the abdominal muscles connecting. And then roll forward and lift up tall. And again, do you notice with your legs apart? So your femur is actually out of line of the pelvis. It creates a little bit more space. You might notice that you can go back a little further than normal, right? And one more time, curl back, take a little breath, and curl forward, lift up tall. Now walk your feet and see if you can get them to touch. Maybe your knees can touch. Doesn't matter. And again, exhale, curl back. Abdominal muscles connecting. And roll up. Lift up straight. And again, curl back. How does this position affect your connections? It might feel like you're more restricted and you're probably feeling more hip flexor if I'm not mistaken, right? Yeah? And exhale, lift up. Separate your feet just one more time to hip distance. And on your breath out, go all the way down onto your backs. And just allow yourself to settle there. Now walk your feet just a little bit closer. Even a little bit closer there, Paul, just so your hamstrings don't overwork, because we will be going up into a shoulder bridge position. Take a breath in and exhale. Just tilt your hips and start rolling up towards the ceiling. Now I want you to pause there for a moment, and after all that hip flexor work that we've just done right now, can you give yourself a little bit of a stretch there? So that means you actually have to use your bum cheeks. That's it. Take a breath in and exhale. Roll yourself down. Feel the imprint of your lower back and release. And let's do that one more time. So it's a little bit of a tilt of your pelvis. Rolling up. Hold it there. Breathing in. And then you get to roll through your spine, imprint gently, and release at the bottom. Now, bring both your hands straight up to the ceiling. Turn the palms of your hands to face each other. Let's start off just with a simple scissoring action of the arms. So we just want to do a little bit of a warm-up for the arms right here and for the shoulders. So you're going to be scissoring one arm forward, one arm backwards. That's it. See if you can get that little bit of a glide of the scapula, your shoulder blades on the back of your ribs. Making sure that you're getting a little bit of a stretch through the shoulders. And then bring both hands up again. And bring both hands down beside you. Now, we're going to be doing a little combination movement here. So take a breath. As you exhale, tilt your pelvis and roll up into a bridge position and hold it there. Now, hover your arms, double check you can balance, and then take your arms all the way back overhead, all the way back overhead. Do you notice how that shifting of body weight affects your connections? Now, can you keep your arms overhead and roll your spine down, placing each vertebra? And you don't have to have your hands on the floor unless you're really flexible, you can. And then bring your arms all the way beside you. Yeah? Everyone okay with this? Let's go again. Little bit of a tilt of the pelvis, rolling up into that bridge position. And then you stay there. I want you to feel that squeeze with your gluteals. Now, lift your arms and reach your arms all the way overhead. You can bend your elbows if you need to. And now start to roll your spine down and release your pelvis at the bottom. Bring your arms all the way forward again. And again, tilting pelvis, rolling up, feeling the connections to gluteals, arms reach back, and then roll down through your spine, feeling that imprint. And now just bring your hands up to the ceiling above you and hold it there. Turn your palms to face each other. Open your arms wide. Breathe in. And exhale, bring your arms all the way up. And again, inhale, expand wide. Exhale, lifting arms up. Now inhale to open your arms. And then bring your arms around and give yourself a big hug. Wrap it all the way around. And again, inhale, open arms wide. Exhale, bringing arms all the way up. Give yourself a nice big hug. And now bring your hands just up to the ceiling. Interlace your hands, and hands go underneath your head for some support. So just make your head settle down for a moment. I want you to keep your feet where they are. Get your knees and feet at a comfortable width for you. Hover your elbows. You're going to nod your chin. And on your breath out, come up into your first sit-up of today's class. Pause there for a moment. Take a little breath there. And exhale as you lower all the way down. So the upper abdominals are working. And again, nod your chin. Exhale, curling forward. That's it. Open your elbows a fraction. Take a breath in. And exhale, releasing down. Two more. Nod your chin. Breathing it out as you slide the ribs through. Wait there. Take a little breath. And releasing down. One more time. Nod your chin. Exhale, sliding forward. Stay for a moment. And then releasing all the way down. And you can stay there. Just make your elbows relax into a place that feels comfortable for you. Now, walk your feet a little bit forward towards the garden. So your feet are going to be further away from your bum. Good. Even more rolling. Take a bigger step. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Now float your elbows. Nod your chin. And on your breath out, slide the ribs forward. Hold it. Take a little breath. And then exhale and releasing gently down. Take an inhale. Nod your chin. Breathing out as you curl forward. Weight at the top and take it down. You've got two more. Notice on your own body, how does this feel different for you with your legs further away? And releasing down. So as a general rule, as soon as you start moving your legs away, a lot of people start to notice the back of the legs working slightly harder. And then releasing all the way down. Stay there for a moment. Let your elbows relax. And now, walk your feet close to your bum. As close as your flexibility allows. And make sure that your knees aren't sore when you're here. So now, float the elbows. Nod your chin. Breathe out as you curl head and shoulders. A little harder if I'm not mistaken, yeah? and releasing it back. Good. Make sure that your lower back feels okay with this movement. If you feel that you need to move your feet away, or if you feel you need to tilt the pelvis, then go for it. And releasing down. We're going to do 2 more. So what we're doing here is shortening the hip flexors, which loads the abdominals even more. That's why this is harder. Last one. Chest lift. Releasing all the way down. And just walk your feet a little bit away from you into what feels like a normal position. And then take your hands into a low V. You can have your palms facing down. And now walk your feet a little bit wider than you normally would. Start rolling both your knees to the mirror. And then come back up. And roll them to the other side. And come back up. So all we're doing is rolling, and the weight of your legs is pulling you into a rotation of your spine. That's it. So again, coming back to our whole theme for tonight is shifting body weight. Oftentimes when we do a rotation of the spine, we focus on the abdominals creating the movement. This is actually the shifting of the weight of your legs that's allowing this movement to happen. And I'm not saying it's uncontrolled, but there's a different sensation, there's a different connection here, yeah? Let's do 1 more time each way. And then bring your legs back to the center and you hold it there. Now roll onto your left side. So we're all going to face towards the blue wall. And I just want you to cradle your head, stretch your legs out long, and rest your fingertips lightly on the ground right there. That's it. So let's just do a quick setup here. Lift your eye line. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Headlights are shining forward and your legs are stacked. So squeezing your legs together, breathe out as you lift both legs up and then release it down. And again, you lift your legs and feel the tightening of your waist and release it down. And again, little squeeze. And release. Fantastic. Keep it going, little squeeze and release. 2 more. Top obliques connecting and release. Now 1 more time, I want you to lift up and hold it. What happens if you hover your fingertips off the ground? What happens if you reach your hand up towards the ceiling? Notice the shift of body weight. What happens if you take your arm overhead? Beautiful. What happens if you bring your hand all the way down to place your hand on the side of your thigh, but your legs are still lifted, and then put your fingertips on the ground again, and you get to lower all the way down. Good. Bend your knees up as if you're sitting in a chair, and by the way, the higher up you bring your knees, the more of a release it'll be for your lower back. So anybody with lower back problems, just draw the knees up a little bit. Bring your right hand out in front of you, cradle your head. You're going to lift your arm up, look up, and then open up across your chest and reach your arm all the way behind you. Take a nice easy breath into that stretch, and then bring your arm all the way up and all the way to the front. Nicely done. Roll over. You're going to face towards the mirrors now. Cradling your head. Stretch your legs out nice and long. Fingertips nice and light on the ground. So just lift your chin for a moment. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Double check that you've got your alignment so that shoulders and pelvis are stacked, legs are together. And on your breath out, lift both legs up and a little release. And again, lift and release. Keep going at your own pace. That's it. Notice which set of obliques is stronger for you. That's it. Good. Stay connected to your breath. You're going to give me 2 more. One more time. Lift your legs and hold it. So you're going to keep your legs suspended. Can you hover your fingertips and hold it there? Now take your arm up. How does that challenge you? Bring your arm overhead. So as you take your body weight over with the limb, feel the challenge. Lift your arm up. And when you bring your hand down, doesn't that feel a little bit easier? And then place your fingertips to the floor and lower your legs. Well done. Bend both knees up so you're sitting in the chair. Get your lower back in a happy place. Cradle the back of your neck. Left hand forward, and here we go. Reach up. Open up across your chest and taking your arm all the way back. We're just going to stay there for a moment. Take a nice easy inhale. And then breathe out and bringing that arm all the way to the front and relax exactly where you are. Turn onto your backs. So we're just going to hug our knees in towards our chest. Maybe do a little bit of a rocking from side to side. And then I want you to place your hands behind your thighs. Tuck yourself into a little bit of a ball shape again, just like we did when we practiced balancing. And now I want you to use your legs to do a little bit of a kicking action. And again, we're obviously transferring body weight from our pelvis to our ribs, but I want you to notice the effect of your legs kicking. So it's giving you a momentum. And then I want you to try a few where you keep your feet still. And how does it change that rocking sensation? Very nice, good. Come up and balance on your last one. Hold it there. Good, 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 good. And you know I've got eyes on my back, okay? I'm facing your feet down. I want you to come up into a standing position. And we're actually all going to turn sideways so we're facing towards the mirror, but come onto your mat. That's it. I'm just going to come and stand up at the top of that. All right, I'm assuming that Janie can see, but no, she can think you can see there. That's it. So again, standing in the center of your mat, placing your hands just to the shelf of your hip, soften your knees, and again, you're just going to step out and in, and left foot out and in. So again, we're just getting that sensation of transferring body weight, and your feet have to be the shock absorbers for this movement, yeah? Now step your right foot out and hold it there. You're going to pivot your right foot to face the side, and then I want you to straighten both your knees. That's it. Now, how about if we tip our bodies forward and up? So when your hips shift back, can you feel the loading onto the obliques here? Yeah? And as your hips shift back, can you feel on that front leg that the inner thigh gets a little bit of a stretch? Depending on how tight you are, of course. And it's a little shift. And uphold it. Soften both your knees. And then pivot that right foot to the front. Now pivot your left foot out. I'm going to come to the side to make sure that these guys can see what I'm doing. And now you're going to straighten both your knees. So we do a little bit of a shifting of the hips back and Up you come. So as your hips go back, you naturally let your body tip this way, but we're trying to keep everything quite angular. So does anybody here do yoga? No yogis. So this is like a classic thing that they do in yoga, and it's called a triangle pose. And if you think about a triangle, it's linear, it's sharp angles. There's no rounding in any of it. And we're just going to do one more. And release. Bend both your knees, pivot your feet, and you're going to step right foot in, and then separate your legs slightly. Let's turn to face towards the garden again. And your arms are going to relax beside you. So just as we started, let's do a little bit of forwards and backwards movement. Finding those connections once again into the front and the back of the body. And hopefully this is all kind of like woken up over the course of the class. And then say to yourself, and you hold it there. Let's do one roll down. Take a breath in. Exhale as you look towards your feet. Stopping with your hands just in front of your knees for a moment. Take another inhale. Exhale, coming all the way over, feeling that stretch moving into the back of the legs. And then do you need to shift your body weight forwards to connect to the abdominals more? Have you wanted to rock backwards? Relax your neck. And then slowly back up you come into standing. Allow your feet to act as your foundation. Everything else settles up on top. Roll your shoulders back and around. Very nicely done. Is everybody okay? All in one piece. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, but did it all make sense? That whole shifting of weight. Awesome. And it's all exercises